everyone, Screaming Geek Me here. I am Jay the Geek. This video we're going to talk about the 4K of Cronos. But before we get into this, if you like physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, even DVDs, you like home theater movies in general, check out my other videos on my channel because I do these reviews, I do unboxings, I do collection updates every month, I do different discussions. Check that stuff out, hit the like button, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and always feel free to comment below, let me know what you think of anything. Now, let's talk about the 4K of Cronos. This movie came out in 1992. One of the actors I do know, but the other names I don't know. Federico Lupi, Claudio Brook, and Ron Perlman. I love Ron Perlman, anything he does. He's such a good actor. He doesn't get a lot of mainstream roles. And of course, it was directed by Guillermo del Toro. Now, I'd never seen this movie before, so this was a first-time watch for me. I knew it was a risk because his movies are kind of out there, and I've heard mixed reviews about this. But I thought I'd take a gamble and got it. And it is one of those movies, I mean, as it's going along, it's like, where's this going? And definitely weird, but it all comes together. And when it's all said and done, I did like this movie. I don't regret getting this. I'd probably watch this again sometime, but not anytime soon. I mean, it's not a favorite, but it is a good movie. Basically it has to do with this mysterious device that was built by this alchemist back in the 1500s. And all of a sudden, it pops up hundreds of years later. And it basically, when it's used, it gives the owner of the device, eternal life. But then at the same time, it leaves a path of destruction. So yeah, definitely it's out there. Again, I did like the movie. I'm glad I stuck with it and watched the entire thing. Now, this 4K comes from BFI, which is the British Film Institute. Just came out back in February. This also did get a 4K release from Criterion at the same exact time. And I'll get into some of the differences between the two as far as bonus-wise. I didn't buy both of them. I'm not spending that much money to get double dip on this. But the movie was filmed on a combination of 35mm and some 16mm. Finished with HDR10 and Dolby Vision. And overall, very nice, very well done here. Not as far as 4Ks go, because you expect a certain, the bar is raised pretty high when it comes to boutique labels and 4Ks. Not seeing the Criterion, I don't know how that was. I'm not saying this was bad. It was very nice. It did have some of the details, the textures, but it wasn't as crisp as you would expect from like other like Second Sight or Arrow or Shout Factory. You don't get that here. It's a little soft looking, but again, it's not bad. And it's a pleasing picture overall. Has that natural film look to it. So please don't harp on me for that. It's just my eyes comparing it what I was expecting. I didn't get that, but it was very well done in my opinion. It has the pops of color throughout, but without being overdone. The blood effects was nice. As far as comparing this with the previous releases, I've never owned this, so I don't know how this is with the older Blu-rays. Now for the audio here, we have a couple choices here. We have the LPCM 2.0 and also the DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. Now I did watch the entire movie in a 5.1, and the weird thing about this, I don't know, it must be the way it's encoded. Because normally I just did reviews of the Brood and Scanners. And normally when you watch a movie, you can flip back and forth between the audio tracks. You can't do that here. At least on my player, I could not do that. I could hit the audio button, it would tell me what I'm watching. if I want to change the audio track, I have to go back to the main menu and choose it that way, which is really weird. I've never had that before. So it must be the BFI edition here that just a special encoding that I cannot do, flip back and forth easily. But afterwards, I did, go back and I watched a couple scenes in a 2.0, and it was okay. But again, I watched the whole thing in a 5.1. I didn't have any issues with it. It was a pleasant overall, clear dialogue throughout. The sound effects, it was nice and crisp. Just more ambience. There was nothing. It's not going to blow your mind. It's not going to be a reference disc as far as audio goes here. Now for the packaging here, if you want to see the detailed unboxing, I actually did do an unboxing. I'll leave a link below you can check out, because it's got, a standard keep case, has a booklet, and a fold-out poster. So if you want to check out all the details of that, definitely, check out that unboxing video. Now, as far as the bonus features go, the bad thing with this release, the bonus features are all on the Blu-ray. There's no features on the 4K, and the Blu-ray is Region B locked. But I used the hack and got the load and went through, and I kind of started up each one of them and jotted down how much, time-wise. There's a lot of stuff here to go through. I actually have 3 audio commentaries. One of them is brand new with Jason Wood. And the other 2 are with Del Toro. And also, then we got one with producers Arthur Gorson and Bertha Navarro, and co-producer Alejandro Sprengel. And both those older commentaries were done in 2002. Then we have an optional original Spanish language voiceover introduction. Then we have Cronos introductions, 34 minutes long. Then we have Geometria, which is filmed in 1987, revised in 2012. It's a short film, about 7 minutes long. Then we have another 7-minute interview talking about that short film. Then we have a BFI Screen Talk. We have a Del Toro interview. It's actually, that one's 74 minutes. It was filmed around the release of The Shape of Water. Then we got the making of the Cronos with Federico Lupi, about 5 minutes. And then we have more interviews. We got another 60-minute interview. It's an archival interview with Del Toro. Another one, a cinematographer, Guillermo Navarro. Then we got another one with Ron Perlman. I did watch that one. That was pretty interesting. It talks about how he didn't know a lick of Spanish going in, and he practiced some, and he did this whole Spanish speech for Del Toro in a meeting, and he was like, that sucked. And they purposely made him sound bad talking in Spanish in the movie and just made it work. So yeah, we've got a lot of bonus here. I mean, add it all up, there's not including the commentaries, all the featurettes, you got over 3.5 hours worth of stuff. Again, you have to have a region-free Blu-ray player or 4K player to play because the bonus disc is Region B locked. That is the one downside of that. So to wrap it up, I really enjoyed this 4K here of Cronos. Now we're going to get into as far as, because this one came out at the same time as Criterion, and which one should you get? Now I didn't buy both of them, but just as far as specs go, as far as Criterion and BFI here, as far as the disc, if you want to watch the bonus features, if you don't have a region-free player, you're going to want the Criterion because the BFI is Region B locked. And plus, a Criterion has a Blu-ray of the movie. BFI just has a 4K of the movie. So that right there will probably tip the scales for you which one you want to get. Now, if you can watch a Region B Blu-ray. And then it's going to boil it down to everything else. Now the video, again, I can't compare, but both editions have Dolby Vision on them. The audio, there is a difference. Criterion just gives a DTS 2.0, or the BFI will give you the 2.0 and the 5.1. So you got a little bit of an upgrade there on the audio with the BFI. Now the bonus features, most of the same stuff. The Criterion has 2 audio commentaries, and the BFI has 3 audio commentaries. Now, of course, looking back at the listing, the BFI said it was going to be 2 audio commentaries, so there's actually 3. So I don't know if Criterion actually gave you an extra one or not. If you have it, comment below. Let me know how many audio commentaries is. So that might be a difference there. And also looking at all the featurettes on comparing the Criterion and the BFI. I think there was one in there, I can't remember the name of it, that Criterion had. I didn't see on a BFI unless they used a different name. That I don't know. That might be a difference. But overall, BFI has a lot more to it. And of course, the packaging, the BFI has, has this really nice hard box, has a booklet, and also a fold-out poster. So as a collector, you're probably going to want to have the BFI edition here. Again, it's going to boil down to if you can watch the Region B Blu-ray. I think that's going to be a big selling point if you want bonus materials. But if you do want to get this edition, you can get it on Amazon UK. With exchange rate and shipping, you're looking at about $45. But they did have it available on Amazon US. They'll import it for you. And it was about $37. And then also Diabolic has it back in stock for $34.99. And you got to figure in about $6 there for shipping. So overall, you're looking at about $40 to get this. And I think the Criterion price-wise is close to the same. So price-wise, you're looking at spending about the same amount of money on each of the versions. So it's going to boil down to what you want, which one you want to get. But if you like this movie, I would recommend picking the 4K up. I really like this. So there you have it, my look at the 4K of Cronos from BFI. Comment below, let me know what you think. Which one are you leaning toward to getting, this or the Criterion? Please check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and we'll see you soon. Geek out.